Matchday live with me, Spellman. It's half-time here at the Etihad Stadium as we have welcomed Leicester, and it currently stands at Manchester City 2, Leicester 0. A great first half performance from the Blues, looking very, very comfortable. Alongside me in the studio is Shaun Wright-Phillips and Will Greenwood. We're going to dig into all that first half action now. And Mr. Shaun Wright-Phillips, I'll come to you first for your assessment of that first half.
First of all, why the mister?
Well, you know, we like to mix it up here on Matchday Live. Sometimes formal, sometimes informal. We cover the bases.
Great first half for me. I thought, like we all said, we thought they could be aggressive. We were very aggressive in the front. It's nice to see the rotation of positions in terms of sometimes Jack starts in that number 10 position, but you see him drift out to the left, which then Doku kind of comes in. And it's nice to see us on the front foot again, to be honest with you. And the nice little intricate passes of play to create the chances that we have done.
Yeah, plenty of chances. And actually, we've seen kind of, you know, at times us struggle a little bit here at the Etihad. Yeah. This feels a little bit of City as old a little bit.
Yeah, look, if you're writing to Santa Claus or Pep's writing for a Christmas present, he wants a goal in the first 4 or 5 minutes in the first league game back after the international break, and we got exactly that. With loads of pace, loads of movement. It got a bit stodgy. Minutes 25 to 35, picked it back up again in the second half. There's always going to be those ebbs and flows in games. Delighted that Grealish scores. I think he's just, I know there's frailties in all people's lives. I think he's just a great human being.
Agreed.
I love the work he does off the field. He's always got a smile on his face. And, you know, away from the skill and the technical ability of finding a pass or scoring a goal, you root for certain players when you're a fan. And I'm a massive fan of Grealish, so delighted he scored. But he looks so comfortable. I mean, it's everything we expected from Leicester, as in sit behind.
Yeah.
They've got to come out and play in the second half to try and chase something down in the position they're in the table, which should open it up even more for our ability to play and go. And right now, if you're on the bench for City, you want to be on the field. Yeah. You know, if you're a substitute warming up, Pep, get me on. Well, not Pep, because Pep's in the stand. Asking the assistant. Get me on. You're right in his ear. Like, I want to play this. You want to play in this game, considering some of the things we've been through.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there's a great point. Actually, Pep is in the stands. He picked up one too many yellow cards, so we've got Lilo down there on the touchline. But I want to pick up on the man you mentioned there. Scorer of the first goal came within the first 5 minutes. Great start, but came from him being in that central position, and it's nice to see that freedom he's got on. How important as well will that goal be for him, because obviously we know he's not really found the net too much in a City shirt.
Massive. It's hard to, like, obviously he's had his chances, but it's hard to blame him because it's been such a stop-start season for a lot of the players this year in many ways, especially in that position. So for him to get that goal will be not just a weight off his shoulders, but in attacking play, it's massive for your confidence, because you know the next time you get there, it becomes more natural for you to just take that shot instantly rather than thinking it. Almost becomes instincts.
Yes.
Rather than second guessing, should I take it, should I take a touch? He would just do it organically now. So it would be great to have him back to that position. And he's picked up some amazing spots in there. There was one of them I thought he could have dribbled a bit more, and he tried to play the pass. The pass was on, but I felt like he could have probably committed the defender a bit more to open the gap up for him.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the front four I thought have been fabulous. The rotation's been very impressive.
Yeah, it was Savino with the assist. I wondered, Shaun, is Jack more effective when he's in the middle, do you think, or than he is when he's out left?
I just think that depends on Jack. I think he will be just as effective anywhere you put him if he plays the way everybody knows Jack can play. Yeah. I think because he has that maverick presence about him on the pitch, he will go past people, he'll buy fouls, he'll wind people up. He's got all sides of the game within his ability, and it's just whether he gets it out. And like we've seen flashes of it there, and he was smart enough not to run in that 6-yard box. Instead of running in there, he hanged out, and luckily enough he's got a quality player like Savino that can thread that ball through that tight gap for him to take that goal on. So I think wherever you play him, as long as Jack is being Jack, he'll cause havoc anywhere.
Yeah. What I love about the innovation in sport, watching all the different sports, in the old days you were numbered 1 to 11, and you almost got your foot nailed in by the manager. Stand here. You do not move. And if I see you in the opposition half, you're not playing next week. And if you get it, you boot it. And then slowly but surely you get comfortable on the ball, and then you start to move and change. So obviously the John Stones thing from sort of playing and then moving into the midfield, you watch it in other sports. I think he's called Jacob Bethel, a number 7 bat, Surrey, opens the batting for England.
Yeah.
Stick him up, pinch hitter, go in a T20, go whack out. Ben Earl in the rugby for England. He's a back row forward. We go on the bench. It's slightly different in rugby. We have 8 on the bench, and you tend to have 5 forwards and 3 bats. We go 6 forwards and 2 bats because if there's an injury, and it happened against Wales, Ben Earl, who's a back row forward, which in football parlance might be a holding midfielder, goes into the centre, so he goes and plays up front. And goes up front and plays 40 minutes and has a magic game up front. And it's actually the amount of the appreciation of rest away, which means gives you more opportunities to then work on little things and explore different angles of where you might play and where you can contribute, as opposed to this is how it's always been, so this is how it must be.
Yes.
The really clever managers. That I'm really interested about that rotation you have in the front 4. All backs in rugby should be able to play in all positions.
Yes.
And those good teams then are all super comfortable in the ball wherever they are, and adapt to what you like, how you like to play. You play what's in front of you, as opposed to playing a rigid system. And it's just fascinating to watch it in so many different sports.
Yeah, and like you said, it's really been on show with our front 4 as well, that fluidity, which then makes it hard for Leicester.
Who do you pick up, which is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a centre half. What's he doing here? You get confused for a second. Are you picking him up? Bam, and you're in and you're gone.
Yeah, and that's it. And then, as you say, what we were saying before with the dog leg space as well. And there we go.
Good lad, pockets and dog legs.
I'm learning. Let's head down pitch side. Your commentary team is Andy Morrison and Alistair Mann. Let's see what they made of the first half.
Yeah, welcome back to the commentary position. Myself and Andy Morrison bringing you blow-by-blow commentary on the first half of City against Leicester. Andy, how would you describe City's performance in the first half?
Well, I thought they started really well. I mean, there was an energy. They were pressing from the front. And then, a mistake on 2 minutes where Doku's recovered possession. It looked like he forced Savinho a little bit wide. But great composure, came back in, and the weight of the pass was perfect. No decisions had to be made. Jack just, eases the ball into the net, and they didn't help themselves, Leicester. When we're looking at it and we're thinking that they're keeping the ball, but we're not sure where they're going, Ali. They're bereft of ideas. There's a lack of confidence. You can see why they're on the run of fixtures and results that they've had now over the last few months. Not really offering any kind of threat.
During the commentary, you were singling out Ilkay Gundogan. Why?
Just because it's difficult to actually put it into, articulate just what he does and how good he is, Ali. But when we spoke before the game, why 41 appearances? It was going to come in as a bit part. What part would he play? But the manager trusts him. His energy, the players respect him. This is the captain of this football club. That picked up the Champions League trophy, and there's such respect there. But his understanding of the game, his timing of his passes, his runs, he knows when to go and press, when not to. He just keeps things. He's the rhythm that's in there that really we've always looked to Rodri over the last few seasons. I've been so impressed with him tonight. His stats tonight will be magnificent.
A quick word on Omar Marmoush. Of course, we know Erling Haaland's out for maybe as much as 7 weeks. How's he looked in the number 9 position?
Well, he's got to go. And I think, as somebody whose numbers are getting better and better week on week, that'll be important to him. But his movement's magnificent, and I think as we begin to appreciate him more as time goes on and they begin to gel and understanding, just to get your head up and be able to play that little blind ball round the corner, because he's gone every time. Cody's just having to stay with him, and it's such clever movement as well. And it's only a matter of time before that gels, and he's a real threat as well. And he's getting goals and he's getting assists.
And a word on Nico O'Reilly, his first ever Premier League start. How's he looked to you?
Yeah, he does. I mean, they've not offered a great deal of threat, but I've been really, really impressed with him. He looks strong, he looks composed. He's got a turn of pace that I never saw. I think I spoke a few weeks ago, Ali, and I was commentating with you, and I said, I think he's got another 2 gears that he can go up. I really do. And there's little moments tonight when you're thinking, we've got a fine talent here.
And your final thoughts for what you expect from the second half? What do you think?
Well, I think Leicester should be better. There's a threat there. They must feel as though if they can ask more questions, they can cut out the mistakes and start to find a little bit more quality in behind. Vardy's making good runs, similar runs to Marmoush, but there's just a lack of guile, there's a lack of energy, there's just an acceptance almost of their fate at this time. Don't want to say that too early, But, you know, if City just up the tempo, keep moving the ball quickly, we will create more chances.
The thoughts there of my co-commentator Andy Morrison. Make sure you download the app and join us for the second half. But for now, let's go back to the studio.
Thanks, Ali. Thank you, Andy. Now, just a quick word on our youth team who were in action this evening. They played before us. We kicked off tonight. They were against AZ Alkmaar in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Youth League. Sadly, a last-minute goal meant that they lost 1-0 and were knocked out of the competition. It was a valiant effort from the boys. I mean, statistically and on the stats, did really, really well. But their one shot on target in the added time did mean they went out. Commiserations, but their attention quickly turns to the Premier League 2, where if they win against Fulham at the weekend in London, that will secure their spot at the top before the knockout part of that competition begins. Mentioned it there, and we touched upon it before, second goal scorer, Omar Marmoush, and took it very well. And actually that thing you were saying as well, where could the ball end up? Yeah. And he was where he needed to be.
If you think the keeper's going to catch it, you don't make the effort. If you think, do you know what, this keeper could drop it twice out of 10, I'll keep making that run. And if you don't keep making those runs that go unseen when the keeper takes it cleanly, which he should, then you can't get on the end of the little bobbles. We got, is he called Faz, the second centre half?
Faz.
Faz. Sorry, he came across him, he got in his way, but still, there's no way, and never mind Peter or Casper, you're not dropping that, you're taking Faz with you. Like, this is my ball, I don't care who, it's collateral damage. There's certain players just got, my job is to look after this ball, and if I'm going to whack a bloke in blue, they're playing in blue, aren't they? If I'm going to whack a bloke in blue, then so be it, because I've got one job, and that's to protect this house, which is my goal. So, well done, Marmoush, being on the end of it. It's just Leicester's season right now. Even if you think they're just about getting themselves back into the game, an ability to take a gun and shoot themselves in the foot is a script that Leicester City fans are used to this season.
Yeah, really are, and not going well for them as well in the other games, because Southampton and Ipswich both winning at the moment. Newcastle also winning, which, as we know, that does put more pressure on the top four. Boys are in the tunnel, so we're going to wrap up here. Come join us at full time. Hopefully we're going to be speaking about a few more City goals. We'll be looking ahead as well, of course, with Will and Shaun. But right now, Andy Morrison's got your commentary with Alistair Mann, and now for me to say hopefully more goals and another 3 points. Come on, City.
Welcome back to the Etihad Stadium. Actually, I say welcome back. You've been at the Etihad Stadium with Cal and the crew, but you know what I mean. For the second half of the Premier League fixture between the Blues and Leicester, City lead by 2-0. Jack Grealish with the opener, Omar Marmoush with the second. City hoping to go up to 4th in the Premier League table. And with Chelsea playing tomorrow night, if they win this game this evening, they will indeed go into